Hello and welcome to the show. Now, buying a property at auction can be very rewarding. And if you're successful, you can come away with a feather in your cap.
Yes, if you're looking to find a place quickly and easily, it's often the best place to start.
Yes, so why don't you head down to your local property auction and buy your next home under the hammer?
Investing in property draws a variety of people from different backgrounds.
Yes, whether you're looking for something that can turn a quick profit or for maybe your dream home, there are lots of options at the auctions.
Yeah, let's find out what today's buyers went for.
Martin gets snappy in Stoke-on-Trent.
So you've probably seen me walk around enough of these properties to know exactly what I'm looking at now. And
Dion's forgot what decade it is in Derby.
You've got a spec over there for your hi-fi stack system and your double tape recorder.
And I'm working from the bottom to the top in Kent.
There are so many flats to see here. Where do I start? Shall I start on the ground floor? Let's do that.
All these properties have been sold at auction, and we'll find out who bought them and what they paid for them when they went under the hammer.
Yes, we are.
Martin's off to Staffordshire and Stoke now, so he'd better get going.
well, the property I'm here to see is right on this fairly busy main road, but it sounds quite appealing. £59,000 plus was the guide price for a two-bed mid-terrace.
Heading back home again.
So what does this particular Stoke property have to offer? Well, a nice impression when you walk through the door. Nice high ceilings, some original features still in place, which is always good to see. Front sitting room there, and it looks like somebody's done a bit of work to sort this place out. I love the brick fireplace. They're probably classic local bricks, really nice, and I even like the little hearth there. So strip the floorboards back, and that would actually be a beautiful room. Through to the rear sort of living area, another nice fireplace in here. I mean, it is a very classic layout. Bit of storage, which is quite useful. And then guess what? Yep, through to the kitchen. So you've probably seen me walk around enough of these properties to know exactly what I'm looking at now. And yep, there you go, that's what I'm looking at, as you might have predicted. It is the kitchen. Now, this is a very standard layout for these kind of houses, a classic thing to do. You extend out of the back to create what is basically a sort of long, thin kitchen. The bonus on this one, really nice high ceilings. That's not often the case. So you might be limited to the design. I think galley is the only way to go. But there's a sense of space. Now, one thing that people often forget about with renovation is really think about the lighting. So you just transform this place just by putting in downlighters. And then the units, first call is, can you reuse the units that are already there? Maybe just put new fronts on them. At your first glance, it looks quite, you know, ooh, black units, wow. But actually, you get closer up and they're not in very good condition whatsoever. But maybe the internals are good, in which case, a bit more environmentally friendly. Don't just go throwing those away, put new fronts on. Perhaps you're obviously going to replace the floor, or at least put a floor on. But then again, very classic layout. You walk towards the back of the property and guess, again, what I'm looking at now. And there you go. Yeah, it's the bathroom. Now, again, in a bit of a state, and you've got a boiler cupboard there. And although it is, yes, we've been sort of taking the mickey slightly, that it's a very standard terrace, it has a good feel to it. And, you know, the high ceilings, and it just feels a little bit more spacious than the average terrace. So, yes, it's a standard terrace, but it's a good standard.
And you know what? Over the years, Martin's developed a soft spot for this style of house.
It's like a friend, 'cause I've seen it all before.
Which means he can confidently guess what he'll find when he steps out the back door.
So out the back of the property, and not a lot of space. You've got this little courtyard area, but most of it has been taken up with this extension, which houses the kitchen and the bathroom. Out here, just some classic things to look out for. The guttering, as you can see, it's actually broken there. A small thing, but it's putting water onto this wall. That's going to cause damp. You know, I know I bang on about it a bit, but just make sure before you do anything else, you sort out the rainwater goods, because that is definitely a stitch in time. Saving 9, as they say.
Yes, another thing we see oh so often on Hammer is the amount of damage and damp caused by a simple broken downpipe or gutter. They're just a few quid to replace, but can cause damage costing thousands to repair. So, just do it.
So upstairs, and I think it's really good news. The bedroom on that side is really big, about the same size as this one. And this one has the additional benefit of this little cupboard. So I think there is enough space to get an ensuite in both bedrooms. And to do that, basically, you would build a stud partition, which is bits of wood and then plasterboard on the top of it, to extend a little into this corner. That could be the shower area. You wouldn't need much space to have a toilet. And if you needed it, your personal circumstances allowed, or you wanted to maybe let this out as 2 self-contained rooms, then the other side again, an ensuite. And then you'd have the bathroom downstairs if you needed it, and then you'd have these 2 ensuites. So the house has got enough space to enable those really exciting improvements, which would certainly make a big difference to what is already, as I've already said, you know, a pretty not standard Stoke terrace.
Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of things that do need sorting here. You know, the usual bathroom, kitchen, flooring, decoration, possible heating and electrics. But intrinsically, this house is a good one to take on. And with that £59,000 plus guide price, I think there's room to add value here. But what does an agent from the auction house that sold it make of its current condition?
The property needs, I would say, finishing off. When you walk around, your first impression, yeah, it's not too bad. But when you have a, if you like, a second walk around, you can see there's odd bits of skirting board missing, and some of the doors have got bits that have been stuck on them and things like that. But otherwise, the property it's not bad condition.
OK, but let's put some figures on this not too bad a condition house once it's done up.
Resale value on it, once they've perhaps just smartened it up and taken the starkness out of it, I would imagine they'd probably achieve in the region of £85,000 to £95,000.
And what kind of rental revenue could it generate?
I think on the rental market, you'll probably get something in the region of £500 per calendar month.
Well, you might think that all terraced houses are pretty much of a muchness, but like in anything, there are good ones and bad ones. And this one definitely comes into the former category. A nice little property. Let's see what happened when it went under the hammer.
This 2-bed Stoke house was sold remotely in an online auction.
And gone, online.
And the successful click of a mouse was made by Jason, who, after auction costs and fees, ended up paying £73,000 for the 2-bed terrace. Jason works in recruitment, and he joined Martin back at the property to tell him more.
Jason, lovely to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Tell me why you wanted to buy this house.
We've been in the market for an auction property for some time now. A local auction came up. We sort of shortlisted a number of properties, and this one sort of fell within our price bracket.
Who's the we?
Me, my dad and his wife, Kay.
OK. So it's sort of a family venture?
It is, yeah.
And how long have you been considering this?
Speaking about it quite some time. I sort of renovated my property back in 2017, and then sort of loved the DIY aspect of it, getting my hands dirty, and I thought that as a sort of side project, this would be great to get into.
So your dad and his partner?
Yeah.
They just fancied it as well, or what?
Yes, so they've recently retired, and they're from Portugal at the moment, and he's sort of said, keep an eye out, find a decent property which you're happy with, and then we'll will go in for it.
So they're sort of going into it financially with you?
Yes, correct.
But they haven't seen it?
They haven't seen it, so
wow.
obviously the benefit of the virtual tour on the auction website, and I'll give them a FaceTime later and show them around as well.
Oh, OK.
And though Jason also didn't view the house in person, he's very familiar with this type of house as it's similar to the current property he owns and did up. He's hoping that insight will help him when he takes on this, his first development project.
So tell me what you're going to do then to this place to sort it out.
So we're actually standing in the kitchen. I'm going to remove the chimney breast and knock through here. So we'll have big islands, big back wall units, and then convert this room behind us into the sort of dining room with bifold doors exiting into the garden.
Wow.
Yeah, going to have parquet flooring throughout, carpet upstairs, and just bring it to the modern age.
And what's the idea behind putting the kitchen in here just to create a lot of extra space? I mean, it's a really good idea.
Yeah, so a friend of mine did something really similar. It just opened up the space. It looked great. It gave me the idea to do it here. It's the same sort of layout, so I thought, why not?
Right, because the natural thing that people do, I guess, is have this as another living space, and that remains the kitchen. But it's only ever going to be a galley kitchen, isn't it?
Exactly. It is quite wide in terms of a standard terrace galley kitchen, but I think when we open this up and we extend through and the lights coming through the bifold doors, it should make this room really light and homely.
Yeah. OK, what about the bathroom at the end there?
So you've probably seen where the boiler is situated in the side panel. We're going to reposition the boiler to give us a little bit of extra room so we can have a walk-in shower and make the bathroom a little bit larger. OK, and then what about upstairs? Simple decorate, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I thought there was space upstairs to do an ensuite.
I've been thinking about it. Did you see the sort of small walk-in wardrobe?
Yeah.
I was thinking about having that sort of area extended a little bit, so potentially.
OK, what's the budget?
10 to 15,000.
And you doing a lot of the work?
Me, close friends, yeah, we're all going to get our hands dirty and get stuck in.
And along with a £10,000 to £15,000 budget, he hopes he and his friends will complete the radical refurb in around 3 to 4 months. And once it's complete, they will then decide whether to rent or sell.
What kind of input is your dad and his partner going to have?
They've given me full trust.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's because they've seen the standard of my property, which they both love, and they said, you know, as long as you can sort of replicate that and put in as much hard work as you did in that property, they don't have any problems.
Do you feel a bit of weight on your shoulders?
Yeah, it's their money.
Oh, is it? Oh, right. How's it going to work? You're going to share the profits?
Correct, yeah, exactly.
Right, OK, but you're going to put the slog in?
Yeah.
Well, listen, congratulations, good luck, and we look forward to seeing how you get on.
Thank you.
So a lot on Jason's shoulders as he renovates this place on behalf of himself and also his family in Portugal. But I love his idea of turning the rear living room into the kitchen and then having this as a dining area. It should be spectacular. I can't wait to see it. You can find out how it all turns out later in the show.
Now we're off to Chaddesden, a residential suburb of Derby. Chaddesden is its Sunday name, but the locals refer to it simply as Chad. So is there a bargain to be had in Chad?
So I'm in Chaddesden, and it feels like one of those areas where people really look after their houses, and it's nice and quiet too. Right, here's the property I'm here to see. Semi-detached, 3 beds, had a guide price of £85,000 at auction. Let's get in, no messing today. OK, as soon as you come in, you've got the stairs to the right, and then you're straight into this front sort of lounge sort of room here. And it feels like I've walked into the 80s, because what hits you in the face is this kind of brick-built sort of fireplace with mantelpiece, and you've got a brick-built TV stand, and you've got an area there which is cut out of the brick for your VHS. It can't be a top loader because it's really shallow, so it'll be a front loader for your videos. And you've got a spec over there for your hi-fi stack system and your double tape recorder. Apart from that, it's a very nice, spacious room. We have got central heating, and the double glazing looks like you could keep it. It's taking me back.
Bring it back, sing it back, bring it back, sing it back to me. Bring it back, sing it.
OK, so we are through into the kitchen, and it does feel like and look like someone's taken the time to measure and make their own kitchen. It's just something that would have been really cool back in the day. I'm going to make my own kitchen and dining space. And yes, it would have worked back then, but it doesn't work now. In the 21st century, you need something nice and bright and new, and that worked because this whole space, this sort of kitchen dining area kind of works because the kitchen spreads into the dining space to all along that wall. So you've got loads of cupboard space. The whole configuration works for me. You've got a bit of wood paneling in there as well. So the 80s theme continues from the front room into the dining space. But empty this out, you'd have a lot of space to play with. It could look pretty cool in here.
You can be cool like me.
Just off the dining room, you have a small extension. And to me, it's certainly seen better days. But could this space be as cool as the kitchen? In the back garden, there is plenty of space to go for a bigger extension if you so wished. But spending a big lump of cash on that might not pay off if there's no real demand in the area for a bigger house. So, do your market research and see if the figures would make it worth your while.
What have we got here? We've got like a kind of wet roomy shower room in there. Tiles look okay, I've got to say. I think I would personally want to put a sort of fixed shower in there, shower cubicle. You'd be able to keep the sink and the toilet, and that would kind of be done. Here you've got the front bedroom, the larger maybe of the 3 bedrooms, double glazing again, needs decorating, and you've got a sink in there, which is handy if you want a sink in your bedroom. So look, okay, that's the smaller of the 3. I'll come back to that in a minute. And here's the bedroom at the back of the property. You've got 2 fitted wardrobes again. Again, they need to come out, they are dated. Needs decorating throughout, needs some nice carpet in here. You've got good double glazing. You get a single bed in here, and you would have to put your single bed right there, because here is the light switch. Okay, so this is the smaller of the 3 bedrooms, and I'm straight over to this boiler. Boiler in the bedroom, not a massive fan at all. Get it out of here, get it downstairs, get it boxed in, make sure it's safe. The bedroom, it looks like it's been painted recently, so one job done. Bit of carpet, you've got double glazed windows, you are ready to go. 3 good-sized bedrooms. The house itself, I like. It's just dated.
We asked along an agent from the auction house that sold this property, guided at £85,000 plus, to see what he thinks of the place.
Classic refurb, really. Thankfully, the property's double glazed, gas central heating. I like the fact we've got a full width kitchen diner here, kind of ready made for the sort of modern living style kitchen diner. So, in all, new kitchen, bathroom, general decor, flooring, straightforward refurb.
The agent didn't think that fully extending to the rear would be worth a financial investment, as the existing footprint was more than adequate for the local property market. So let's get down to values. How much could this property rent for?
One feels when this property has been refurbished for rental purposes, I'm thinking in the region of £725 per calendar month. You might get a little bit more, subject to how far you go with the quality of fitments.
And what could this property achieve if it went on the local resale market?
Once refurbished again, I would feel it's likely to achieve in the region of £175,000.
I can't find anything majorly wrong with this house. It's a good, solid build, and it's in a good area. However, it's dated and it needs modernising. I personally wouldn't mind taking on this project. Let's find out who did when it went under the hammer.
This lot was sold at a remote property auction, with bids taking place online.
Yes, we are. That's yours.
The successful bid of £127,000 was made by sisters Oyen, wearing the jeans, and Ebon, together with their brother Shay, who couldn't be here today. This is their first ever property investment, and Dion met them to find out more.
Oyen and Evan, nice to meet you. Happy? Are you happy?
Yes.
Yes? Before we go into the details of the house, tell me a bit about you guys, your background, how did you come about this? What made you go into property?
So I'm currently not working at the moment. So I was a student. I just graduated a year ago, so...
Congratulations, how'd you get on?
No, it was good. I passed, so
Well done, always good.
Yeah, and then we just came into some money, so we've always loved the show, so I kind of thought, why not go into it?
You've always loved this show?
Yes.
Thank you very much,
We're
thank you very much.
sisters. So, yeah, that's our connection. And sadly, we actually lost our mum to cancer, and that's how we came about the money. But she loved the show, she loved property. So my sister's done a great thing, really, by just like, let's get into property, let's go into an auction, which is what she did, and little did we know that we'd actually end up on the show. So it's actually emotional and joy at the same time, because Mum would have loved it, and she loved you, Dion.
Did she?
Yes, she did.
Mum, I love you too. I love you too, Mum.
It's really special, actually, to be on the show. Really special.
Good on you, man. And I'm glad that the show's helped, and I'm glad, or your mum will be very, very glad that you're doing this with what she's left, you know, as well.
Oh, but it was younger sibling Oying who talked the other two into their move into property.
I just think might as well take a risk and just go for a challenge and just try something that's going to test me a little bit and see how it goes. Just jump straight in.
Exactly what you have, haven't you?
Yeah.
Ebony, were you surprised that she's just gone straight in and...
No, my sister Oyen is the risk taker and the one in our family who potentially will be the millionaire. So...
Please, too much pressure.
I fully trust her. And either way, it's a learning curve. I think it's a good start. And the area, what you get for your money here does tend to be, you know, properties of this size. I work in London, you know, can't look there. So Midlands area is far cheaper.
What are you planning to do?
So new kitchen, new bathrooms, just get everything checked, get the gas checked, electrics checked.
It's just dated, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's dated, it hasn't been decorated in a long time.
Yeah, new carpet.
You've got like a brick sort of fireplace and mantelpiece and back to the 80s. Are you going to keep that?
Probably not, no.
Okay, good. That's a correct answer. So what about the configuration and the way it works? You've got like your front room here, then you've got the sort of kitchen diner. Yeah. Is that all staying the same, the layout?
Yeah, pretty much. Might try and make the kitchen a bit bigger and incorporate the kind of extension bit a bit more, extension conservatory.
Nice.
More into the whole house.
Okay, so will you keep what's there?
Yeah.
Will you try and make good of what's there?
Hopefully, if that's possible, yeah.
No extensions?
I don't think the budget will allow for that, but we'll see. I mean, open to all options at the moment.
You've got to tell me your budget. You can tell me that.
Yeah. So around 15,000, I would say.
Who's going to do the work? Do you know anybody that can do the work? Have you got people that you know?
So Evan has a few friends.
Yeah, so a mixture of, I've got a friend who works in excavation, so she's got, you know, that's her contacts, a lot of contacts in Derby. So it's utilising friends. You know, I've got friends, partners, and electricians, so we're just utilising our contacts.
Yeah.
No doubt the girls are on a steep learning curve with this one, but I'm sure with their enthusiasm and help from friends, they'll do a great job. But how long do they think this project is going to take to turn around?
I would say 6 to 8 months, being conservative.
Okay, now that is kind of a answer question type thing, isn't it? So 6 to 8 months, I think. Listen, you're not too far away, to be fair. That'll give you lots of time.
Yeah.
Get the right people in, that'll give you more than enough time to hopefully turn this place around.
Hopefully.
And hopefully we'll see you again, because you've made a few quid, back to the auctions, back on Homes Under the Hammer.
Be fab.
Yeah? I tell you what, let's make sure this is an absolute winner for Mum, shall we?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Good on you, good on you. Listen, good luck to the both of you. And Shay, hope it works out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I wish Oyen lots of luck. She has got her sister Eben and her brother Shay by her side. And you know what? Whatever they achieve here, I know their mum would be very proud of them. You can find out how they get on later in the programme.
Coming up, I'm going door to door in Chatham, Kent. What's behind this door? What's behind this door? 2 more doors. While sisters are doing it for themselves in Derby.
I leaned on my sister quite a bit for the design choices and the colour scheme and things like that.
We now return to Stoke-on-Trent, where Martin really clicked with a 2-bed terrace that was guided at £59,000 plus.
So you've probably seen me walk around enough of these properties to know exactly what I'm looking at now. And it is the kitchen. And there you go. Yeah, it's the bathroom. Yes, we've been sort of taking the mickey slightly that it's a very standard terrace. It has a good feel to it. And it just feels a little bit more spacious than the average terrace. So yes, it's a standard terrace, but it's a good standard.
Someone who certainly wasn't taking the mickey here was buyer Jason, who, including legal fees, scooped the place up for £73,000 with business partners Dad Steve and Steve's partner Kay.
What kind of input is your dad and his partner going to have?
They've given me full trust.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's because they've seen the standard of my property, which they both love, and they've said, you know, as long as you can sort of replicate that and put in as much hard work as you did in that property, they don't have any problems.
Do you feel a bit of weight on your shoulders?
Yeah, it's their money.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Living it up to, living it up, living it up, living it up, living it up to.
So, with the renovations being left in Jason's hands, how has he got on? His initial timescale was 3 to 4 months, and now we're back 12 months later. The facade is looking sharp with the windows restored and painted, new gutters and new PVC front door. The living room has enjoyed a lick of paint, a new carpet and a re-pointed fireplace. Jason's plans to turn the dining room into a large kitchen weren't possible in the end, with fears the work would blow his budget. But this hasn't stopped him pulling off an impressive dining room transformation, with a new patio door letting in tons of light, sleek porcelain floors and a pop of colour over the fireplace. So the galley kitchen was destined to stay, but it's a brand new one, keeping in line with the high-spec finish to the rest of the house. He's also put in a new bathroom, which is looking loads roomier. But how has Jason achieved this?
So you may remember this is where the boiler used to be kept, in a small little room, and we used to have a small bathroom just here. The original back door was there as well, so we blocked that up, moved the wall, put the boiler into the kitchen to make a much bigger family bathroom.
The hall and bedrooms have been replastered, carpeted and painted. But there's no sign of the proposed en-suites. The rear of the property has been painted, and the old outhouse that was at the end of the garden has been removed to create a new outdoor seating area. Someone has clearly been very busy here, but who was it that got the work done?
So I've been extremely hands-on during this project. I've done about 90% of the work as well as project managed. I did have some help from my cousin Richard, who's been in the trade for about 20 years. He helped me install the kitchen. But apart from that, the tradesman I had to bring in was a plasterer, electrician and gas engineer. But everything else has been done by myself.
The timescale did stretch from 4 months to 12. What caused the delay?
When we first started to remove the many layers of textured wallpaper, it was apparent they were there for a reason, and we did unearth a couple of cracks which had to be repaired in the plaster work. Also waited for tradesmen, 6 weeks for a good plasterer, 4 weeks for an electrician, and that sort of put the project behind.
And did he manage to stick within his £15,000 budget?
We budgeted between 10 and 15 for the full renovation. The good news, it did come in at 11,000 for the full renovation. Doing the majority of the work myself definitely kept the number low.
Wow, sticking within the budget is pretty impressive. Adding Jason's spend of £11,000 to the initial purchase price takes his total investment here to £84,000. Were there any compromises made to achieve this?
We're thinking about putting the kitchen in here, but we had a structural engineer and building team come out, and they advised with the steel that was needed and the overall cost, it just didn't fit within the budget. So we decided to keep the dining room in here, sort of upgrade the floor and maximise the space in the kitchen with the design.
Smart thinking. Martin was hoping to see an ensuite or two upstairs, but it looks like Jason decided against this idea in the end.
Looking at the sort of plans and the waste pipes and the plumbing, it just It was a lot of work. So with the amendments made into the big bathroom, we decided against that.
Dad Steve and partner Kay must be delighted with his choices and hard work. Were they keeping a close eye on the project, and did they get their hands dirty at all?
Yeah, they've both checked in a couple of times from Portugal. We've FaceTimed, video calls, showed them the progress throughout. Been happy. My dad was actually back in the UK last weekend, so he came and saw it before it got put on the market. He was extremely happy. They didn't have that much of involvement, apart from a colour feature wall in the front room, that's about it.
And what are the plans for the place now that the renovations are complete?
Yep, so we're just going to assess the market. If it was strong, it'll be sold. If not, we'll rent it out.
But before Jason puts it up for sale, let's get the opinion of a local property expert. We've invited along an estate agent to see what he thinks of the finished house and what it might be worth now.
The standard of finish is very good. It's been done to a good standard, but not too expensively. So it will suit both the sale and rental market.
On that note, what sales and rental figures would he place on this property?
If we were to put the property on the sale market, I would recommend a figure in the region of £110,000. If we were to put the property on the letting market, I would suggest a figure in the region of £575 per calendar month.
A sales price of £110,000 would mean a healthy pre-tax profit of £26,000. Is Jason happy with that?
Definitely very happy with them figures. Recently had it valued at 110 to 115, so that's bang on the money.
And that monthly rent of £575 would mean an annual yield of just over 8%. What does he think about that?
Yeah, it's not a bad number. Happy with that.
Now he's heard the valuations, is the plan still to sell on?
Definitely. We'll put it on the market in the next couple of days and definitely sell it.
Great. Has the project been an enjoyable experience for Jason?
Enjoyed the process from start to finish. Looking forward to getting started with the next one.
But will he still be working alongside his dad and Kay?
Exactly the same setup as this property. I'll be doing the majority of the work and it'll be the same agreements in the end.
We're in Chatham, a town located within Kent. The town developed around Chatham Dockyard, which closed in 1984. But the remaining major naval buildings are an attraction for a flourishing tourism industry. Well, if you fancy living in the heart of Chatham, then the auction lot I'm about to see could be right up your street, because I am in the town centre. The train station is just a 7-minute walk away, and you've got a convenience store right on your doorstep. Win-win. Now, this is an interesting property. It's a block of 5 flats, which had an auction guide price of £365,000 to £375,000. It consists of 4 one-bed flats and 1 split-level 2-bed. So there's lots to see. Better get started. Ooh, this is nice and bright. Nice, wide hallway. It feels like it's a shop front, but it almost has an officey feeling about it as well. There are so many flats to see here. Where do I start? Shall I start on the ground floor? Let's do that. So, into the first of 5 flats. A little hallway here. We've got good storage there. Oh, smoke alarm's working. Bathroom there, very old-fashioned and tired. Rip that out and start all over again. A step up into the bedroom, double windows. Really nice space, actually. And if you love coral, you'll love that bedroom. But look at this. The size of this living room, which is fantastic. You've got a small kitchen, again, just a little bit tired. There's a boiler there, get that checked out. But you've got gas central heating, which is always a bonus, because that saves a few quid. It feels really nice. The smoke alarm is definitely working. All you need to do here is give it a little bit of TLC, and you're good to go. Yes, if the other flats are on the same par as this one, then this building is a great buy. So, back through the hallway, up to the other flats. So, this is one of the 2 flats on the first floor here. Really nice and bright, actually. You've got a shower room there, not in bad condition, needs a bit of a tidy up. Bedroom to the back there, dual aspect window, and again, nice high ceilings. You've got the sash windows into this little hallway. The kitchen, not bad, actually. It's not in bad nick at all. And then, once again, it opens up into a really bright, spacious living room. I am loving the dual aspect and sash windows. This could be a really lovely space. I think it's safe to say I'm impressed. The third flat on the first floor was in a similar state to the others, so I headed straight to the second floor to see what I could find. And flat number 4 didn't disappoint. The kitchen here was flooded with light from fantastically big windows. But is the 5th flat going to be the cherry on top of this already impressive cake? Now, this is the 5th and final flat. This is a little bit different. It's a split level, 2 beds. Nice hallway here, so you've got place for a console table, somewhere to hang your coats, lots of doors. I'll have a look at that door in a moment. What's behind this door? Storage. Good. What's behind this door? 2 more doors. Okay, so there's your bathroom. You know what I'm going to say. It needs to be ripped out and made good again. What's through this door? Wow. Okay, decent-sized kitchen, dual aspect windows, sash windows once again. Everything needs ripping out, needs to be modernised. Doors, doors. Let's go through this door. There's another door. That's door number 6, but what's this? What's this thing here? I don't even know what that is. But look at this. A really nice, bright, light room. You've got a double aspect sash windows. Yeah, really, really nice. Apart from the doors. And if you thought that was it, it's not.
Are you ready for more?
Flat 5 has an upper floor featuring 2 huge bedrooms. This is one impressive property, but to find out more, we've asked along a local estate agent to get her thoughts on the building and what would be best to do with it.
These flats, they're really nice actually. They're very spacious. They're all configured nicely. They're 1-bedroom ones, they're nicely laid out. There's the lovely duplex 2-bedroom upstairs, which is a really nice flat as well. They do need a bit of work doing to them, but they are nice flats.
What could the returns look like once all the work has been done?
Once these are all brought up to scratch, I would say the 1-bedroom flats rental would be £700 per calendar month, and the 2-bed that we've got upstairs would go for £900 per calendar month.
And what about if they were put up on the sales market?
I would say the 1-bedroom flats would be looking at £135,000 to £140,000, and the 2-bed one we are looking at £155,000 to £160,000.
Well, there's no doubt about it. This is a whole lot of property, and with its size comes a whole lot of work. But I think once it's been fully renovated, there could be some good money to be made here. So, who agreed? Let's find out when it went under the hammer. This lot was sold at a remote property auction with online bids only.
It's done, it's going to be sold. Well done.
The successful bid of £365,000 was made by Farhan, who is a property developer with plenty of experience. And you might recognise him, as he's been on the show before, more than once. Congratulations on this property.
Thank you very much, thank you.
But I know you are no stranger to Homes Under the Hammer, are you?
That's true. I've been on this show a few times in past, yes.
So how's it all going?
It's all going good. Few projects on the move. You've seen my last one as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, happy so far.
This is property number...
Oh, I've lost count now. So, joking, but yeah, I think maybe 20, 22-ish, yeah.
Wow, so
yeah.
Still keeping busy, that's
yes.
good. And
yes.
Everything's going well. So this is, it's a huge property of 5 flats. And I know you're a dab hand at the auction, but how was the auction for you this time round?
Market is hot, so auctions are busy as well. We had few bidders on this lot as well, but to be honest, it did not go to the extent where I was expecting it to be in terms of price and bidding. So happy with the outcome. The price I paid, which is under my target, very unusual. So yeah.
But why this particular lot?
Answer to why is always one. If it's a good deal, just buy it, right? So I think it is a good one. The price that I paid, the potential that it offers, location, very close proximity to shops and train stations. I'm sure it will be popular amongst tenants because I have similar properties in local close proximity which we are already letting out. So I can understand this will be no trouble in terms of letting out. Even if I decide to sell, I don't think that will be difficult as well.
So what is the plan? You've got the 5 flats here. Are you going to rent them all, or are you planning to sell?
My preference would be to keep everything.
Right.
But, we have to keep an eye on the market. Things change, and you just adapt, and who knows?
Yeah.
But intention is to keep everything.
Very good. What about the works? And let's start from the ground up. What are you planning to do?
Normally, I would strip out everything and, new plumbing, heating, electricity, wiring, everything. But this one, for example, in terms of electrics and plumbing, we might be okay to keep some. So it depends how so we'll do our own testing. And if they are fit for purpose, so we keep it. But of course, we still go for new boilers, new second fixings, new kitchen, new baths, flooring, decoration, doors. So it will be a full renovation, but we might be able to just manage to keep a couple of things if they are fit for purpose.
Yeah. Farhan plans to bring in contractors to carry out the work here, and he hopes his budget of £125,000 and a timescale of 6 months will get him over the line. What about the leasehold? Because when I read the information, there's just over 100 years left on the lease. What are you going to do about that?
So we have around 105 years unexpired on existing lease, which is again long enough for us for now. I mean, we do not have to extend it at this point in time, but I'm looking to buy freehold of the building anyway. So I'm speaking to the freeholder now. So I'm looking to, probably offer him something for freehold.
Yeah.
And it's just easier in the long run.
Yeah.
And then I can extend the leases to whichever number is needed, right?
Fantastic. Look,
Sure.
I wish you the very best of luck with this. Congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
I cannot wait to see what it looks like.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's great to hear that Farhan is doing really well on all his properties. Now, he is an experienced property developer, so a project like this is no problem. But will he really be able to complete all the works in 6 months? Will it be game, set and match? You can find out later in the show.
Well, we've found out already how one of our properties turned out, but what about the other 2?
Yes, have they been sleek and steady?
Or was it a rocky road? Let's find out.
Back now to the Derby suburb of Chaddesden and a 3-bed semi that had Dion reminiscing.
It feels like I've walked into the 80s because what hits you in the face is this kind of brick-built sort of fireplace with mantelpiece, and you've got a brick-built TV stand, and you've got an area there which is cut out of the brick for your VHS. It can't be a top loader because it's really shallow, so it'll be a front loader for your videos. And you've got a spec over there for your hi-fi stack system. It's taking me back.
Yes, and the house was a bit of a throwback to the 80s throughout. Pine cladding, swirly carpets, it was all here. But apart from a slightly rickety extension that had seen better days and probably needed to be removed, the house itself appeared sound. And that made it a good starter project for sisters Oyen and Eben, who, along with their brother Shay, bought the house at auction for £127,000. And this property purchase was inspired by their mum.
we actually lost our mum to cancer, and that's how we came about the money. But she loved the show, she loved property, so my sister's done a great thing really by just like, let's get into property, let's go into an auction, which is what she did, and little did we know that we'd actually end up on the show. So it's actually emotional and joy at the same time, because Mum would have loved it.
I just think might as well take a risk and just go for a challenge and just try something that's going to test me a little bit and see how it goes. Just jump straight in.
Exactly. Well, you have, haven't you?
Yeah.
Ebony, were you surprised that she's just gone straight in and...
No, my sister, Oyen, is the risk taker and the one in our family who potentially will be the millionaire. So...
Please, too much pressure.
I fully trust her, and either way, it's a learning curve.
Well, I'm sure Mum would be proud of her daughter's go-for-it attitude. They were hoping that £15,000 and with help from friends and family, a team of contractors and recent chemical engineer graduate Oyen project managing, the house would be finished and ready to go in 6 to 8 months. But now, 17 months have ticked by, so where are things?
On my way, can't stop me now, and you can do the same, yeah. What have you done today to make you feel proud? It's never too late to try. What have you done today to make you feel proud?
It was completely stripped out, and then it was replastered, rewired, new radiators, new boiler, a new kitchen and a new bathroom as well. So the layout is mainly the same. There was a conservatory outhouse building attached at the back, so that was just knocked down and it's just paved over now.
We need a change, yeah, so do it today, yeah, 'cause I can see you there rising.
I think there's a lot here that Oyen and Ebon should be proud of. But how did they approach this, their first house refurb?
So what have you done today to make you feel proud?
I kind of just wanted to have fun with it. And so I leaned on my sister quite a bit for the design choices and the colour scheme and things like that.
Yeah, so we went for kind of like a monochrome finish, black doors, kind of silver and black accents with the sockets. And yeah, it's just something that I'd want to live in. So that's the feel that we went for. I really, really like it.
And this wasn't just a case of choosing materials and colours. Oyen and Ebon were both fairly hands-on.
I played the role of the project manager, just getting the tradespeople in, making sure they're all qualified and everything like that.
We did a lot of the more cosmetic works together. So once everything was plastered and we got a plasterer in to do that, we did the painting, the mist coating. That was something that I'd never done before. So painting the entire house was a task, but that was a new skill that I learned with this project.
This really has come together so well, but don't be fooled. Property development is never easy.
We've both been working full-time, so we've just been coming down at the weekends, making the hour drive. It's been quite a trek.
Yeah, and some late nights as well. We've been here, bank holidays. Yeah, it's been hard fitting it in, working full-time as well.
Living over an hour away in Northamptonshire and with work commitments, along with delays in getting in tradesmen and materials being difficult to get hold of, have pushed the refurb project back by nearly a year. But at last, it's just about ready to go. But at what cost?
So the original budget was $15,000, which was very unrealistic. I think I didn't realise exactly how much work needed to be done and exactly how expensive it was going to be. So the total is $35,000.
That is quite a jump up from their original £15,000, but then that's all part and parcel of the learning process. But it does mean with their £127,000 purchase price, the siblings are looking at an all-in total of £162,000. Money well spent? What does the agent that saw it the last time think?
This is my second time at the property, and it's quite a transformation from when I originally saw it. So, yeah, it looks like they've done a pretty good job. I think the changes regards to the kitchen and bathroom, they're nice, you know, good quality fitments, neutral in appearance, so it's got a modern feel to it.
The current thinking is for the family to hang on to the house and rent it out. But have they invested their £162,000 wisely?
If I were to look to market this property, I would recommend an asking price of £195,000.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think that's more than I thought, so that's really, really good.
Yes, that could be a tidy pre-tax profit of 33 grand. Not bad for starters. What about the house's rental potential?
I would anticipate a rental income somewhere in the region of £825 to £850 per calendar month.
That's more than what I thought, to be honest. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's also more than I thought it would be. Yeah, that's really good.
That's a yield above 6% and a nice little income generator. Around £10,000 a year. So what's next on the agenda?
Mine is definitely relax and enjoy life.
I think we should start another one. I think, yeah, buy another property and do this all over again.
So hopefully, if Yvonne gets her way, this will be the first of many. We now return to Chatham in Kent, where I visited a block of 5 flats, guided at £365,000 to £375,000.
There are so many flats to see here. Where do I start? Shall I start on the ground floor? Let's do that.
And it wasn't just flats that I was spoilt for choice with.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's behind this door? What's behind this door? 2 more doors. What's through this door? Wow. Okay, decent-sized kitchen. Let's go through this door. There's another door.
And the buyer who was going to throw all of the doors wide open and breathe new life into these flats was Farhan, who purchased the lot for £365,000. Farhan is a seasoned Homes Under the Hammer developer and knew to leave no stone unturned.
There's just over 100 years left on the lease. What are you going to do about that?
I'm looking to buy freehold of the building anyway, so I'm speaking to the freeholder now. And then I can extend the leases to whichever number is needed, right?
Yeah.
Farhan planned for the work to take up to 6 months. Well, it's 6 months later, and we're back to see how he's got on. A good, clean and fresh lick of paint has made the building's entrance much more appealing. And the foyer has been refloored and painted, giving it a more homely and less office block vibes. All of the flats have had almost exactly the same work done to them, up to a beautiful standard. The living rooms have all been painted with new floors and stylish spotlights that have come as part of the entire building's updated electrics. Each kitchen has been replaced, along with updated plumbing and heating. Here's Farhan to tell us more.
So we are in one of the one-bed kitchens. As you can see, we have tried to keep everything very neutral. And because we were doing 5 flats, so we bought all the kitchens together, everything kept same. And I'm happy with the outcome and the way it has turned out.
Similarly, with the bathrooms, they've all had the same modern high-end finish.
So we are in one of the bathrooms in one-bed flats. First of all, I've kept all of them similar just to realize the economies of scale. And I think they will be one of the selling points. So I'm happy with the way they have come out.
The bedrooms have all enjoyed an updated neutral palette. And like all the one-bedroom apartments, the 2-bed flat upstairs is looking just as swish. Farhan amazingly completed this project to a fantastic standard within his planned 6-month timescale. How difficult a feat was this to pull off?
I have done many more complicated sites like new build developments and commercial conversions, which tend to give you more sort of challenges. So this has been a very smooth project, so yeah.
So who was it that carried out all the work?
I have a couple of sort of trusted contractors that I have worked in past as well. But this one, I've found a new one. All the works, they were completed on time, good quality finish. So glad with them, yeah.
And how did he get on obtaining and extending the lease?
So as planned, I bought the building under being all the 5 flats under one lease. So we splitted the titles, so now we have created 5 new titles with 5 new leases.
What a pro. But did he manage to stick within his £125,000 budget?
So we went slightly over the budget. I think altogether, excluding fees and stuff, we spent around 135,000. It's just because, you know, I went for slightly better quality kitchens and appliances, which took the budget slightly to the higher end. But I'm still very happy that we managed to do all 5 flats in 135,000, which is not bad at all.
And what are the plans for the flats now?
So the plan for now is they all are on the market for sale. As many as I can sell, I will sell if they are at an acceptable level in terms of offers. If not, I'm happy to keep couple or 3, but it looks likely that all of them will sell, and probably I'll sell all of them and move on to the next project.
The original plan was to rent them out, so that's a change in direction. Let's see if a local property expert can sway him again. We've invited along an estate agent to share his thoughts on the property and what he thinks it's worth now.
So with all 5 flats, I think they've done to a really high standard. I think that they've been finished really well and that the interiors will appeal to all.
What values would he place on these flats on the sales market?
I think the 2-bed would come to market for £165,000 and the 1-bed would bring on for £155,000.
That would mean once all the flats were sold, Farhan stands to make a potential pre-tax profit of a whopping £285,000. What does he think about that?
In terms of 2 beds, I think the estate agent's estimate is very conservative. Because we are marketing for 180,000, and I can tell you that we are receiving offers in excess of the asking price. In terms of 1 beds, yes, probably we are going to achieve around 160,000.
And what rental figures does the agent think they could achieve?
I think the 2-bed would rent for £1,000 per calendar month, and the 1-bed anywhere from £850 to £900 per calendar month.
Those rental figures could give Farhan an annual yield of 11%. Is that what he was expecting?
Yeah, so I have other similar properties in the area that I'm letting out at the moment. So this is the sort of rent we are achieving in the local area, and rental market is very strong these days. So yes, my figures are exactly the same, so good to know.
What does Farhan have up his sleeve next?
So I'm buying a couple of more sites at the moment, and I'm finishing a couple of sites. So I tend to do around 3 to 5 projects in 18 months span. So it's just, you know, a couple of projects I'm very close to finishing, and a couple of projects that I'm buying are already in legals. So hopefully, you know, the journey continues.
It's never a problem finding new property stories to tell.
Yeah, from Land's End to John O'Groats, from Cardiff to Belfast, there are auctions all over the UK.
Yeah, so join us soon here on Homes Under the Hammer. Goodbye.
Goodbye.